All right, so let's talk about Mercury retrograde. So everybody's favorite time, and like, I mean, whether or not you believe in astrology, I say whether or not you believe in it, it certainly seems to believe in you if you've had any kind of experience. And like the one thing that people always seem to talk about, like with dread, is like you hear about Mercury retrograde. It's like, oh no, not that again. You mean I'm going to be stuck in a big traffic jam, or I'm trying to publish something? You know, if you're a grad student or author and you're trying to like get some paper, publish something, oh, they're gonna send it back to me with so many delays and different things like that. So
The
here
phone,
we go
nothing with
again.
the
Yeah,
phone.
technical issues, different things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to say, we shouldn't look at it negatively. We can be like, obviously the energy is neutral. There's
Mhm.
no like good energy or bad energy. I want to say that. Like, I mean, I think novice people who are just diving into astrology for the first time often take like, okay, well, Saturn's bad. I gotta watch out for Saturn. No, I mean, actually, Saturn's really good. You just, if you accept responsibility and you welcome structure. I mean, now it can be stifling. I mean, that's where it gets bad, but I mean, if we didn't like Saturn really is the essence of like structure in the world. And like, I mean, all of us have human beings, we have bones. If we didn't have bones, we'd be jellyfish. So
That's
clearly
true.
we need some structure. So I'm just deviating from the whole part on Mercury to say that, yeah, all planets are good. I mean, really, it's not good or bad. They're just, we see the energy as neutral, but how we interpret them is what's important. But anyway, Mercury is, based off of, so Mercury is um, in the mythologies, Greek Roman mythologies, the messenger to the gods, and so deals with communication, rules of communication, thought. In our charts, deals with the mind, how we think about things, communication in general. Wherever Mercury is in your chart, when we look at your chart, that's where we can see, okay, well, if communication is like a key emphasis in your life and how it shows up, different things like that. Well, Mercury likes to go retrograde, and it does it usually about 3 times a year. And all of this is, of course, based upon a relationship between, here on Earth with the planets and all. And so it's not that Mercury is actually going backwards in the solar system, like that just doesn't happen, but in our relationship with the planets, we can see it going backwards in the heavens. And like for whatever reason, I don't know why, it does have an impact on life on Earth. Whether
Mhm.
you've, I mean, it just does, right? We perceive it as having an effect, let's say, and
Yeah.
it does. And so around the time Mercury starts to slow down, which now I think has been for about a week, it usually starts about a week, week and a half in advance. You'll start to see different things happen. Like, and the way to mark that is like when we look at the degree that it's going to when it's going to go direct. So it goes retrograde for about 3 weeks. And so this time it's going to stop on November 9th. It's going to go retrograde at 6 degrees, 51 minutes of Sagittarius. So if you've got anything at Sagittarius around that point, just pay attention to it in your chart. But it's going to go all the way back to 20 degrees of Scorpio, 20 degrees and 42 minutes. It's going to take November 29th to get back there. So November 9th to November 29th. So about 20 days. And you will notice communications break down, things that maybe you're wanting to push forward with. It's like, okay, all of a sudden, it's like this information is not going anywhere. Like you were about to sign off on this contract. Now there's an interruption. Like it can manifest so many different ways. Mandy's coughing. Like, I mean, literally, maybe it's like the person you were signing the contract with, they get sick. I'm not saying you're getting sick, Mandy. I'm
Mhm.
just saying, like, these things happen. So the person gets sick
I feel it
or
though.
technology breaks down, and it's like, okay, I had this thing I was going to send off, and like now I can't get into my computer. Something mysterious happens. There's a software update, and it just changes all the settings on my computer. Now I can't even get in. So I had this important thing I wanted to do. I'm like mad frustrated because I can't do it. These things will happen. Like I'm not saying they're going to happen to you, but somewhere out there, it
I'm
feels
just
like it's
laughing because I
happening.
feel like all of those things have happened. I had a Zoom update yesterday. My phone, I don't even know what it was doing when you called me earlier. It just kept flashing orange like
Mm,
that and then
that's not a good sign.
stopped. My calendar today wiped out the entire, everything was gone. It was just
Oh,
white and
geez.
said you, I mean, it was cool because it said you have nothing on your calendar. What I
Maybe that's a good thing.
but I know
As long
that's
as you
not
don't
true
miss an
because
appointment, you know?
well, that was the thing
Yeah.
because I couldn't see what time my son's orthodontist appointment was today, and I was like, okay, it's either 3, 3:30, or 3:45. But every time I looked at the calendar, it was white out. So of course I'm like, well, let's go for 3 o'clock just in case. And of course it was 3:45.
Yeah, of course.
At like at 3:15, it decided to display the calendar. My son was like, "Oh my God, I could have been doing other things during this time." And I'm like, "Well, you get to hang out with me." So, sorry. But all those things have happened.
Oh,
Some
wow.
version, some version of weird, yeah, weird
Yeah.
tech things for
Weird tech things. Things with technology. I mean, you're absolutely right, Mandy. And like I said, you may be one of those lucky people who like none of this happens to, but chances are you're going to experience something. I mean, whether it is like a weird, technical breakdown, updates, delayed processing of papers. A lot of publishers, I'm told, actually will refuse to sign like contracts or put anything through, for push a book through, a manuscript through for
sure.
publishing because they know it's going to come back, with like full of errors or something like that. So a lot of people say hold off on it. Obviously, life goes on. Like, I mean, this is a modern world. Maybe the invitation is to pause. And if you can do that, if you're in a place where you can, maybe it's a good time to reflect, And I think the purpose of Mercury retrograde is to kind of look back, stop and think about, okay, you know, is there something else that I need to consider here? Is there something else I need to do? Did I go over this thoroughly? Are there errors or anything in, my writing or in this contract or whatever? And sometimes we can find things, we can find errors. It almost seems like the purpose of it is because you know, universe, God, whatever you want to say, wherever this energy is coming from is like, let's just stop and like pause and like take a look at things. Um, and it's never like it's not happening. That's the thing. It's just a frustration. It's a
Mhm.
frustration because we get stuck in the traffic jam. We get routed to a different direction than where we thought we were going to have to go, right? Because we take this way that we usually go to work every single day and it's super efficient, and all of a sudden exit is blocked. I can't get off of that exit. As a matter of fact, the whole road may be blocked. And I'm saying this being in Columbus, Ohio, too. I mean, where it seems like this is like an ongoing thing. I think Mercury retrograde is year round in Columbus, Mandy. I mean, maybe
It just sticks
it's
right over Columbus.
yeah,
We've had a lot of road construction this last week too, actually, weirdly enough.
yeah. I mean,
Or maybe not
seriously, it's
weirdly
it's
enough.
yeah, it's like orange. I think orange barrels are like the official flower of Mercury retrograde. It seems that way. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure out in Philly, you have the same
Oh,
thing going on.
yeah.
But
Sometimes that's all that's there is construction.
I kid you not, it doesn't always happen this way, but there was a Mercury retrograde cycle. I remember it was like maybe this was before the pandemic. So this is maybe about 2017, 2018. Like, I kid you not, I knew it was coming and I was driving like the way I usually go, and like I noticed like the day I knew that Mercury was about to go retrograde, all these orange barrels were on the side of the road, and it's like, oh boy, okay, I guess I can't do this. And it went on for exactly like the 3 week period before. No, it's almost like I don't know if like ODOT or if the construction crews know about Ohio Department of Transportation, but I don't know if like they know about, but it just seems like there's going to
Probably
be more
not.
delays. There's going to be more construction. So I say all that to say, just be prepared for it. Like, I mean, again, maybe the invitation is to, okay, I usually go this way to work. I usually go this way to the grocery store. I usually take this pathway, this, road, highway, whatever, to drop off my kids at school, take them to band practice or volleyball or cheerleading or whatever like that. Take a different way this time. Like, I mean, just be prepared for it. If you do it, if you're going to do it all along, then it's not so bad when the road's closed. It's like, okay, except when the road that you're going to take as alternate pathway ends up being closed too. It's like, okay, now what do I do? I've actually had that happen to me. So, yeah. So, don't panic. Like it is going to pass. It's just take extra time, this is really a time to stop and think about things, to reconsider, if you were going to go with this one thing, is this something I really want to do? And if it's still a yes, if it's still like a hell yes, then like you're going to do it anyway, right? But it just may take a little bit of time. Um, so also pay special attention if you have planets, anything in your chart between 6 degrees of Sagittarius back to 20 degrees of Scorpio. So, if your sun is there, it's probably something that's going to make you feel a certain way on an egoic level. If it's your Mercury that's actually sitting here between, 20 Scorpio and 6 degrees of Sag, almost 7 degrees of Sag, then you may be the one doing the communicating that maybe gets stuck in limbo somewhere, or somebody you might be doing the communicating, you might be telling somebody, hey, this is going to be a hold up for you, or it's probably happening with you where you wanted to get that thing out there and it's like, oh, now I gotta wait, I can't sign this contract, and also like life happens, like you're not going to wait 30 days, 20 days, whatever, to sign the contract to get your dream house, right? Or to take a new job or whatever. So just do it, but just know that there may be some delays in the process of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good because I think a lot of times, like, what this brings to mind for me is like, when I tell people I'm like a low level dabbler in the astrology, but like I'm learning a lot, right? And
You know a lot, Mandy. You know a lot
I
more
know
than you give
you
yourself
always tell
credit
me
for at
this.
this point. Yeah.
This is true. But what I always tell people, because I'll tell people like, or I'll ask for their birthday and just I'm like, oh, okay, like you're a Cancer, you're a Scorpio, or you're a fellow Libra, or, whatever it happens to
Those
be.
Libras, you just
Yes, they're the best.
rule the world.
But,
Says a Taurus.
when people, well, yeah, because the opposites. So,
Yeah.
when people are like, kind
We're
of
both
give, like,
Venus ruled, so
raise an eyebrow to it, it's like, I always say, like, look, I don't make my life decisions off of
yeah.
the chart. And it's like, what I think is important for people to know is like, when you have the awareness and the knowledge and the understanding of this energy that is, like you're saying, is happening, like regardless of if you believe in it or not, like things are moving. And if you don't believe in it, I would say just look at like the sky when you wake up and go to bed, because that is like that's evidence that things are moving, right? Like the sun is setting and the sun is rising.
Yeah.
Therefore, everything else up there, I would imagine, is doing some kind of version of that, or whatever dance they do up there. So to your point, it's like it's happening regardless of if you are like, I'm really like invested in this or not. But I think there's very clear evidence just by like the sun and the moon that like things do happen up there. And we know like there's now I'm like, I feel like I'm like on a sales pitch. I'm not, but we know there is
So
like
you can sell me all day, Mandy. Go for it.
I, very good. There is like the even just like the pull from the moon on the bodies of water and
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. Like
I was gonna
that is
mention that. I was
yeah,
gonna mention
it
that.
is
Yeah.
actual science, right? We do know this. So I always tell people it's like, yeah, I dabble in it. I find it very, very interesting. I believe there is something to it. Do I sign contracts like based on exactly what's happening on every different day on, based on my chart and my degrees of whatever? Like, no, I'm not that tuned into it. But I do think there is a real value and understanding and having some kind of awareness of the forces that are at play here. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Absolutely.
That's what I always tell people is like, yeah, don't make your life decision. It's like, I'm not going to be like, oh, here's an example. I'll never date a Virgo.
Yeah, we know you
That's
don't
like
have
a
a great
long
history of
running
Virgos, but
old joke between me and Dr. John. But,
I should
you
probably
know,
say the same thing. I'm kidding. Apologies to all the
we
Virgos
love
out there. Yeah,
Virgos. My
I do.
son's
My
Virgo.
favorite aunt was a Virgo.
Yeah, they're great people. I love them.
Yeah.
And
Um,
like, maybe not the best for me. But if like the dream person showed up and they were a Virgo, I'm not gonna like kick them out of bed for being a Virgo. You know what I mean? But also it's
you
like,
just have to find a Virgo with a lot of Libra energy, maybe some Leo energy too. That'll
but
balance
that's
it out.
But that's the value is like when you understand the energy, then you can kind of like you can work with it and like I don't know how I want to say it. Like you can work with it. So
Oh yeah,
it's not like, oh, Mercury in retrograde's happening to me, like my poor phone. It's like, I was driving today and I'm like, oh yeah, Mercury in retrograde. That's why all this stuff isn't working. Like, and then to your point, we can slow down and be like, okay, it's Mercury in retrograde. Some weird, like wonky stuff's happening up there. All right. It gives you time to like pause, reflect, all those things, which are not necessarily bad things, you know?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, beautifully put. Beautifully put, buddy. Yeah, I feel like studying this stuff, it's actually made me like some people are like, well, you have to choose between this and God. I disagree entirely. Like I'm like, I mean, whatever your faith is, and we're not here to like get on any soapbox about faith, like, but this has made me more spiritual, studying this, understanding that there are like these bigger patterns going on. It's like, I'm like, what's God thinking about when with all this? No, seriously, it's like I wanted, no,
Why'd
like
you
this
have
is
to
like,
create a Mercury in
yeah.
retrograde?
Yeah,
Come
well,
on.
yeah, it's like why do we have to do a Mercury retrograde? Like, couldn't we just like why isn't it just like a straight line? But if the creator of all things is like thinking about time, like I mean, I guess if it were, if I had created this universe, I think I probably would like playing tricks on people. It's like I am gonna give you, yeah. I mean, like, what else are you gonna do
That's
for
true.
like
Like
all
if
eternity, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
you've got billions of in trillions of years, that all this is supposedly here. Like, I mean, what else are you gonna do with your time? If you made it all like dry and boring and straightforward, how much fun is that?
Yeah, that's true. It's like,
Yeah, so it's
let's
like
make
why
everything
doesn't
go backwards and in dysfunction and see what happens.
right? Yeah, it's like why wouldn't the creator have a sense of humor? Like, I mean, I would.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Yeah, it's but yeah, I think about that. Like, side note, I don't know if you watching us, if you happen to be a Star Trek fan, I always think of Mercury. Like, if you watch any of the Next Generation episodes, by the way, with like Captain Picard and Riker and Data and Geordi and Troy and Wesley Crusher and that crew, then you know about Q most likely, and Q being I don't know if you watch any Star Trek, Mandy, but I'm just thinking about when I always think of Mercury retrograde or Mercury in general, I always think about Q. He was this like, he's this really advanced metaphysical being who shows up and he's like the ultimate trickster. He's like the Joker, but he's like Batman's Joker. He's not like violent or a sociopath
Yes,
or
I
whatever like
remember
that.
this guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
watched
Q's
a couple episodes. Yeah,
yeah,
I
he's really
remember.
more of an imp. He's like this overgrown, like, like think if you could give a little kid a lot of power and like he could do whatever he wanted, but he actually had like, a point to doing it. And that's cute. And so I think about Mercury when Mercury shows up in our lives, especially in Mercury retrograde form, I kind of think about Q, like, okay, he must be playing a trick on me. Like he loved doing that with Picard because Picard this, very often shows up as, he's the captain of the starship of like 1,000 people, and it's like the flagship of the Federation, the Federation of Starship and Planets, and so. And he's in his 50s when the series begins. And so he's pretty much set in his ways. And Q shows up to challenge him. And he's like, you think you have this all figured out, buddy. How much
Hmm.
do you really know here? And so he literally plays tricks on him. Some of them are painful and some of them are upsetting, but it's also at the same time, it's like, hey, I want you to think about this. Like, I mean, you're flying around in this big starship, going around to different planets, exploring all this stuff, though, and you think, oh, cool, right? Some of the stuff is dangerous. Like, some of the stuff could actually like blow you up and kill you in a second.
Yeah,
Do you know what you're getting into here? So he really just wants Picard to stop and think about it in a
yeah.
manner of speaking. And so that's how I think about Mercury. It's like, oh, shoot. Okay, I gotta go this other way on the road again. That exit's blocked. That exit's blocked too. All right, Q, there you go. What are you doing? What do you want me to know about this? Like, why are you testing me? Why are you showing up in my life right now?
Yeah.
That's the way I
Well,
look
it's
at it.
not, sometimes I feel like too, it's like maybe it's like you take a route you don't normally take and you see like a beautiful sunset or like like you have a different perspective because you've taken that route. And it's like I think of times when that's happened to me and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to have to go the long way. And then I go the long way and I'm like, wow, I saw like a mother and baby deer like out in a field, something where it's like, oh wow, I'm really glad I made myself get lost.
Yeah, yeah. It's about enjoying the journey, Mandy. Like we're so
Yeah.
focused. Again, Western civilization, we're so focused on linearism. Okay, I'm going to my destination. I've got to get there. I've got to get there. That we don't stop and smell the roses. We don't stop to see the baby deer on the side of the road with, little Bambi with his mother, at least before the hunter shoots her. You know. Yeah. I'm sorry.
We
Bring
took it
that
all the
up.
way to death.
Yeah. All right, but you get the picture though. So Mercury retrograde is coming. Don't fret. If it happens and it happens to you, you can say, "Hi Q, I see you. What are you trying to teach me again?" Or just, go stop and smell the roses, see the baby deer on the road.
Mhm.
Don't look for the hunter, but yeah, just keep
Yeah.
just take it all in and know that you're going to get to your destination. It's just probably going to take a little bit longer. You can do like I do and take a scenic drive anyway. And,
Yeah.
if you go with that attitude, then any day could be Mercury retrograde. And so when Mercury retrograde actually shows up, you might actually get to where you're going on time.
Yeah. Well, also, I think it's like it was just saying about stopping and seeing the deer. It's like how I think when listening to you just now, it's like how many times do you drive somewhere and you're like, how do I even get here? Like I know we all have this experience because we're like, oh, I was looking at something on my phone and I was doing the directions, and then you're just like on autopilot. I think, maybe the takeaway with Mercury in retrograde is it like it actually forces you out of autopilot in some of these situations where it's like, like when you called me and I'm like, I don't know, can't answer the phone, can't put you on speaker. My phone's just like stuttering.
Wigging out, taking a
It's like, all
break.
right, well, I have to talk like I'm talking like this on the phone. It was very weird, but I mean, maybe it stops us so that we can like slow down and be present to like our actual experience during that time versus like our automatic, oh, this is the way I always take. It always takes me 14 and a half minutes. There's four stoplight, it's like we know. And I think that also, I was thinking about this earlier when you were speaking. It's like sometimes that like us being so confident in our knowing gets us in trouble, right? Because it's like, oh, well, I thought the light always stays green for X, it's always a long green, so I just ran it and then, someone hits you. So I don't
Yeah,
know. I mean, that's like I guess a different perspective on it is like
keeps us on our toes.
it's annoying, but
Yeah,
keeps us present, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Which is a good thing,
Want
you
to
know?
stay awake. Mercury will
Yeah.
definitely help you stay awake. Probably do a little extra caffeine in the process too, but
Yeah, it does feel like that. Maybe that
yeah.
was the time change thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that. Interesting that does come on the heel of daylight savings time. Thank you for watching. Please click subscribe below and follow us. Welcome to our community.